Hi, it's Katie Bowl, and I'm back with Katie Stories number 7. Wow, we're really getting to know each other, aren't we? Or are you getting to know a bit more about me, aren't you? So, last week I was filming this from the office of the foster care which I work at after school hours. And I was saying how I'd been busy and tired and taken some self-care. That I just didn't quite have a lot of energy or feel myself. And yeah, you know what's really cool is after I finished taping my Katie story number 6, I spoke to my boss about an hour later and I was really honest with him and let him know that. And there's no shame in that. There just isn't. I was just really honest and said, a bit more off than I can chew. I'm struggling. I don't feel like me. I feel tired. In addition to a 32-hour work week, doing another 18 plus hours a week for foster care, because sometimes it's more than that depending on the schedule. Sometimes it can balance out to be less, but all in all, it's a grind because I'm really embracing this creative side of myself as well, writing and acting. And it's kind of cool because he was so understanding, and he's going to help offload a couple of my hours onto someone he was thinking of bringing aboard. So that's perfect. And I always say, had someone, oh, aren't you worried about missing out on that money? And I went, no, because what's the point? If you don't feel good, if you're tired and you're too busy to spend it, it's not healthy. And I always feel that letting go of something that's not serving you, that's bringing you just, some extra stress or pain that you don't need, if you let that go, I believe that you open the portal for other things to enter. And the money will come in a different way, a different source. And funny I was saying that because this one picture that's been on Instagram of me, I'm sitting on the porch and my shoulders are bare, and it got a lot of likes. And I thought, well, I should send that to my agent. It's time to update my headshot probably anyway. And she really liked it and said she'd upload it. So the other day, I just happened to have a peek on her website and I couldn't find myself, like under commercials, and that's usually where casting directors will go look for background work or for commercials, just small time things, because I'm really just getting started. And I've been upgraded to actress. Yay! That's really cool. So I'm actually now in the actress section to be chosen for auditions with speaking roles. And I've been to a few of those, but now I expect I may get invited to more. And so again, never be afraid to let go of something if you're not in alignment, right? If you're not feeling great, you're not feeling your best, you're not in alignment with something, and it's time to just check in with yourself and see what needs to change or what needs to go or what needs to be added that brings you more joy. So that said, one more thing before I start to read. I went to this awesome yoga workshop this morning, so I just wanted to shout out my friend, Inadvertently Beastly. She's on Instagram, and she's a total goddess. You should see all her yoga poses, and she loves cats, and I think she is just love herself. She is just a dish, a doll, and she's so smart. And yeah, I went to a Cultivating Sankalpa, Art of Intention, 90-minute workshop today. So not only did we, get our body worked out and our soul nourished, but the brain worked out a bit too, and it was great. I have a lot to be grateful for. And I would have taken the whole hour and a half talking. I didn't dare. She wouldn't let me. So I just said my little say that I'm really proud of my daughter, that she's choosing a path that makes her so happy. She's doing awesome in school in the next province over. My husband and I'm proud that our marriage is just doing so amazing after 25 years, because there was a time this last year where we weren't together for a while. I really thought maybe we'd be going separate ways, and we've taken it by the reins, and we're just happier than we've ever been. And I want to talk about that more, but we got a ways to go. We got a lot of Katie stories right now, so that could even be my second novel. Yeah, got lots of great advice and inspiration to share on don't give up. If you're with someone you love and you're great friends, but you've just lost that spark, you really can get it back. I didn't believe you could. I just didn't. And yeah, we did. It's just amazing. Okay, so when I left off last week, I had to skip around. I was talking about my brother Danny and the acid trip and how it changed our family and wrecked his soccer career. And then I kind of went over to Charlie, this neighborhood boy that bothered me. A lot of unwanted sexual attention that sort of ended up just me blowing up and threatening him with my dad and stopping it and creating kind of a feist in me for the rest of my life where, hey, I'm open and loving and kind, but I've also got good boundaries and don't take shit from anyone. And you shouldn't either. But be loved too. Be love and light. It's all good. Just have good boundaries. So, gonna get to the part with Danny. Life got worse when Danny got braver. I was now in grade 7. Dad was hitting him in the laundry room, and Danny was cowering and begging him to stop. Mom, Debbie, Fred, and I were in the nearby in the kitchen, shouting, "Stop it, Dad! Fucking stop hitting him!" But Dad wouldn't stop, so we switched tactic. And instead of we started yelling, "Danny, hit him back! Hit him back!" Danny swung at Dad's head, connected, and knocked him flat on his ass. Dad was stunned and never bullied Danny again. But that didn't stop Danny from attacking Dad a few years later while he was recovering from a cancerous tumor operation. Danny was then sent away to live in a group home. He eventually regressed into a gentle, happy guy and has been more stable and nonviolent since. I just went out with him yesterday, took him out for fried chicken and french fries at the local restaurant, like a shopping center. And he's a great guy. He's amazing. He has a great memory. We love to talk about fashion and soccer and good music. Despite our troubles, our family consistently gathered at supper time and enjoyed beautiful home-cooked meals and Mom's heavenly baking. Fred's delinquent friends, some of our misplaced relatives, and later on my friends, were squeezed in around the dining room table with us most evenings. In the background, there were all kinds of different music genres blaring. The best music was coming from Fred's room upstairs. Fred's tastes ran from Rush, Queen, Blue Oyster Cult to Aerosmith and heavily influenced my love of rock. Mom also loved to sing and was pretty good at it. The truth is, our house was crazy and manic, and yet somehow everyone loved to visit. In many ways, it was a teenager's paradise. Fred's friends loved my parents, and my parents treated most of them like their own. Mom would listen for hours on end to everyone's problems. She even taught my brother's one of his good friends down from a bad mushroom trip. She was like, "Oh, it's okay, you're in the Sirianni home. Oh, and you're okay, and you're safe." And he's crying, "I see white lights." And yeah, she would invite kids like literally off the alley. There was a little farm area adjacent, and they'd be back there puffing, and she'd invite them to come up when they were skipping out and have sandwiches and tea. And yeah, she was great. She was very non-judgmental and would just listen. So she was a kind soul. Oh, yes, she was. So was my dad. Like, big heart of gold with these kids. And I want to talk more about this before I start reading more. Years later, Mom would recount at least 44 people who'd stayed briefly or had boarded at her house at 311 Elizabeth Street. The welfare department called my mom and said, "We hear you take all these kids in for free. Want to get paid for a real foster kid? He needs his own room until he turns 18 in April." "Sure," my mom said, and she gave him mine. I had to sleep on the couch with people coming and going all night, including my exhausted, gambling-addicted father, whose addiction almost cost us our home. And that's another good story I'm going to share with you. I was just a few months away from turning 13 when I started hanging out with a tough older crowd, smoking pot and skipping school. I'd grown a few inches and lost my baby fat. I was dating the 15-year-old brother of one of Mom's unofficial foster girl's boyfriends. Good Lord. I'm going to stop reading there and just dish on that a little bit. So, yeah, my dad gambled. He was out almost every night. And that brought a lot of stress because he was losing paychecks. It'd be payday and he'd lose his paycheck and sit there crying. And his best friend, Alec Corman, would loan him the money. And then Alec had a drinking problem. So when he was down and out, my dad would be over there with my mom's spaghetti and meatballs and, box of potatoes and helping him out. So Dad was in this big gambling game. And this realtor, a local realtor in our town, knew a woman. And he said, "Frank, I can get her to forge your wife's signature. Let's go down to the bank, take a lien out against the house, and then we can get back into this big game." So they went down, they took out the lien, $10,000 in 1979. I was in grade 7. And fuck if they didn't win. So my dad won like 35 grand. Immediately ran, put the 10 grand back on the house. loaned his friend some money, paid some of his gambling debts, and I think he still had like $18,000. And so mom didn't know about the forgery, but she was innocent and she knew he won. So she said, "Oh, you need a car as beautiful as you." And so my dad went out and bought this. What kind of car was that? 77 Oldsmobile Delta Royale, like a big brown one with the tan rooftop and the AC, and it was all plush. And that was a beautiful car until he crashed it without collision. Oops. I gotta go. I've overdone my 10 minutes. I hope I can post this. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to talking to you next week. Katie story number 8. Wow, there's a bit to go.